What's going on everyone, you're back with Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to look at the surface area of cylinders, again seeing how important rectangles are to the area of all our shapes. We do just have to remember that the surface area is just all the areas of the shapes present within that 3D object. So for a cylinder, it does get a little bit weird because we've got quite a lot of curved surfaces. And as we've talked about before, these curved surfaces are always a little bit more annoying. So if we have a look at a cylinder, just as an example, say like a can of Coke or something like that, it's really easy to see that there are two circles in this shape. One at the top, one at the bottom. Obviously that's pretty cruisy. But then the question is, what's that shape in the middle? We've got like a curved surface that goes all the way around. This could be quite difficult to work out. But luckily we can actually see with some examples that this shape is really easy to find. So I think the easiest way to think about what is this shape in the middle is to visualize a toilet roll. So for this, you can see quite quickly, oh yeah, we've got a circle here and a circle here. That's where the two easy shapes are to see straight away. But if I made a cut straight down the middle, which I already have, and then unrolled this toilet roll like this, you could see almost immediately that that is just a rectangle, right? And you could do this straight away now with a loose piece of paper in front of you. If you took a piece of paper that's obviously a rectangle and then rolled it up, you could come to a shape that has two circles and then this rectangle in the middle. And that's the important part. We already know that we're going to be given the height of this cylinder. So that's one of the dimensions. The height of the cylinder is the same as the height of the rectangle that we're given. But finding out what the base length is a little bit harder. So again, I want you to think, look at this circle here. This outside distance of the circle is the circumference, or 2 pi r. And then if I unfold this circumference like this, flipped around, that is then the base. So the base of a cylinder is 2 pi r, and the height there is h. We can work out the area of a rectangle incredibly easily, multiplying those two things together. And that's where the formula for the cylinder comes from. So if we want to find out what the surface area of the cylinder is, all we've got to do is add up the shapes that we've got. We know we've got two circles and we've got one rectangle. Happy days. So to find out the area of those two circles, instead of doing them individually, I would just say I've got 2 pi r squared. That's the areas for both of those circles done. Then for the rectangle, we have to add the circumference, which is 2 pi r multiplied by h. We can write that in one sentence as 2 pi r h, and that becomes our formula. You might sometimes see this formula factorized, and that is something that you should look out for. So in both of those terms, we've got 2 pi r, and I could rip that out the front. So I would have 2 pi r. So then for the circle, I would have 1 r left, and then for the rectangle, I would have the h. So you could have a formula of 2 pi r bracket r plus h. Both of these things would give you the exact same answer. I prefer to think about it as the two circles and then the rectangle. So I like using the one that's not been factorized, but either way will work 100%. So that makes working out these questions actually incredibly easy. If I've got something that looks like this, a cylinder with a radius on top of 6 centimeters and a height of 7 centimeters, all I've got to do is plug in the numbers. So to find out the area of the two circles, I would go 2 pi multiplied by 6 squared, making sure that I'm using the radius. And then to find the area of that rectangle, I would just go 2 times pi times 6 times 7. Again, I would highly recommend in your calculator, please just use brackets. It'll make sure that you miss any mistakes that could occur. So I would do this all in one step. You could do circles and then rectangle, but just do it in the one step in your calculator, and I think you'll find that easier. There's just no chance you'll make a rounding mistake. So for this one, if I just type it into my calculator, I get the answer of 490.08 centimeters squared. Again, area, always going to be squared. So then the only way that these can be made a little bit more difficult is they're going to use the diameter. So again, we know how to solve this almost immediately. For this one, I've got to do the two circles first, which is 2 pi multiplied by 12 squared, just making sure we are using the radius, plus then the area of the rectangle, which is 2 pi multiplied by 12 multiplied by 32. Again, throw this into your calculator in one step with your brackets, and you're happy days. Don't have to do any more work. So if I type this into my calculator, I'd get the answer of 3,317.52. Again, meters squared. and then you're done. So I do hope that you found this lesson helpful. Again, just visualizing that middle shape is a rectangle is probably the hardest skill for this whole topic. As long as you've got that down, I guarantee you're going to have success when you're looking for the surface area of these cylinders. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.